Hello there, welcome to part 2 of my ski making series. In this series, I'll be showing you how to make your own wooden skis, starting from a log. In the last episode, I split the log and roughly gave it its shape. In this episode, I hope to further shape the log, making it a closer approximation to the end result. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that I need to do is further shape the log. This is done by tempering the ends. And here I'm just giving it a quick test run to see how gliding the bottom surface is. Now I'm just measuring out the skis with a longer ruler to figure out where I'm going to place my foot. Now traditionally you'll want it somewhere in the middle, but a bit closer to the top of the ski. That's where the curve is located. Now using my very dull axe, I'm taking away wood to tamper down the ends. A ski design involves the middle part where your foot is being the thickest of all, being pretty much 3 times thicker than the very edges of the ski. Here using my ruler, I'm measuring out where my foot's going to be, so pretty much around in the middle. I'll leave this part the thickest one of the ski. Here I'm coming to my bushcraft workshop that I made a few episodes ago. I'm setting up the campfire pit, which I'll later use. Here I've got my later steam box to bend the skis, which I was storing firewood for now. This will serve to keep the firewood dry for now. Now I'm going to further shape the skis. I'm using a technique where I make horizontal cuts along the ski. Then using my axe, I'm going to slowly chip away at the cuts. Now, be careful to not make the cuts too deep or you risk cutting through the skis. Here I'm using my draw knife to smoothen out the bottom surface of the ski. I'll of course add later finishes to it. I'm just trying to get an approximate shape and resemblance to what my final product is going to be. Here I'm setting up my campfire pit to hopefully roast some potatoes. Birch bark works as really efficient timber, which I highly suggest carrying with you at all times, especially when bushcrafting. Adding more birch bark will start the fire a lot more easily. This will help the wood catch fire and melt the snow, which will then put out the fire. After doing this a few times, you'll have all the campfire pit dry and ready for a good fire. Here I'm opening up the potato from its tin foil and giving it a taste test. Turned out pretty good, except the inside was just a bit undercooked. Here I'm back at the workshop, day 2 of shaping the skis. As I mentioned before, having dull tools does not help with this process at all. So I highly suggest either buying new tools or buying sharpening stones or files to sharpen your tools. Here I'm debarking the outer edge of the skis. This can also be done with an axe, but it is a lot more efficient with the use of a draw knife. This process took multiple days, which is why I have several different recordings in many different places. It feels like I'm more hitting the wood instead of cutting it because of the dull brutality of the axe. And yes, I have finally gotten myself a few sharpening stones. Here the shape is really starting to come together. Now I'm going to try and match symmetrically the top of the ski heads. Here, as you can see, I've stopped making the horizontal crosscuts with the saw, as the wood is really thin at this point and I don't want to cut through it. Here I'm marking the symmetry of the skis. Using my draw knife, I'm further smoothing out the skis and taking away the wood. Now as you further continue to more and more precise work, it helps to use smaller and smaller scale tools. This way you don't accidentally cut through or damage the wood that you're working on. Here the skis are really starting to thin down. I've proceeded to only use the draw knife now instead of the axe. To clamp them in place, I decided to sit on them on a fallen down log, and then cutting them with my draw knife. If you have clamps, I highly suggest clamping instead of sitting, as this way you'll be able to give a lot more power with your cuts. As you can see, the ski is also sliding underneath me, so this is why multiple clamps will help a lot. So here, using my draw knife, I'm thinning out the wood. As you can see, I've gotten pretty thin in thickness. Now preferably for the skis, you'll want around 8mm on both edges, and 24mm in the middle. As you work your way from edge to middle, it should work its way up in thickness. I could afford to go this low because I have one of the strongest woods. As I mentioned before, this is hop hornbeam, and it could withstand a lot of damage. Now I'm just adding in the final touches using sandpaper. Thanks for watching. If you liked part 2, give it a like. Now I've pretty much finished shaping the ski. In the next episode, I'll be showing you how to steam bend it and attach the straps. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your day.